Welcome back to Insecurity. We are still in San Francisco because that's where all the cool things are, and this might be the coolest one. I know I say things like that a lot, but trust me, stick around. I'm not going to talk very much, but Garrett Schumacher, the co-founder and CTO at Gene InfoSec, I don't even know what to do. But preface this by saying right now, ancestry research is very hot. DNA, genetics, really top of mind for a lot of people that used to not think about that. You guys think about that.
Time.
Tell me what is happening at Gene InfoSec.
Gene InfoSec, so we are encrypting molecules of DNA. This is a new, completely new way of concealing genetic information inside molecules of DNA physically at the molecular level.
Seriously? You come to the digital show about security, and this is a guy that is securing your DNA. I'm curious, though, as to why, I give the little blurb up front about how research and all this stuff is really exciting. Why is this something anybody outside of a PhD candidate would be interested in?
Well, so there's a lot of implications with DNA sequencing right now. There's a Wall Street Journal article that just came out end of this last year. 7 sisters had the BRCA or the breast cancer mutation test done. They found out that they thought they had a very disease-oriented variant of that mutation. They had mastectomies done, their breasts were removed, and they come to find out, 7 sisters, come to find out that variant was downgraded to not being associated with breast cancer. So there's a lot of, genetics is a new and up and coming field. It hasn't fully matured, but we're on the path. We're making great progress, and if we don't have security and privacy in mind, then we're all in for a world of hurt.
Why is it something like that needs to be secured in a way that for our audience, security audience, we compare it to digital files and whatnot, and you see all the cop shows, right? Oh, the DNA was too diluted, it was too old, it was too this. Why do we need to secure DNA?
When DNA is actually sequenced, you've got holes in that whole threat surface everywhere. From when you collect a sample, to storing those samples, to generating electronic data, to then transmitting the data, analyzing it, using it. There's holes everywhere. So our methods actually encrypt the data at the sample source so that everything downstream is secure, and it's fully compatible with your traditional cybersecurity approaches, just for additional security on top.
Now, are there some things that either misconceptions that we need to get past, or some things that are just straight up wrong that are getting in the way of companies like yours, not just companies like yours, but just people being able to use this information to not physically alter their bodies, trying to prevent themselves from getting sick?
Basically, the best way to describe this is, a great analogy is reading a book. So reading someone's DNA is just like reading a book. So the King James Bible has 3.2 million letter characters within it. The human genome has 3.2 billion nucleotide base pairs. Nucleotides are the basic unit of DNA. So if we want to read someone's DNA, it's just like reading a book, but there's varying levels of information we can glean from that. So there's something called SNP genotyping. That's where you're flipping through the pages, selecting a random letter here and there at very specific locations, and seeing if that's different from normal. Not a whole lot of information can be obtained from that, but there is some diseases that can be associated with those mutations. Another one would be partial genome sequencing. That would be if you're looking for very specific genes or very specific locations within the genome. So that's you're flipping through the pages and you're reading a paragraph. You're reading a very specific sentence here and there. You're getting a pretty good understanding of the story now. Or you can do whole genome sequencing. Read the entire book or the entire genome front to back. But then now when you start looking at those varying levels, if you're gonna make health or medical decisions based on SNP genotyping, for instance, like the breast cancer scenario I just gave, that can be devastating. So we're not quite there. We're trying to bake in security and privacy from the ground up, so that then when we get to a place where whole genome sequencing is affordable for everyone, it can be used so in a very precise and accurate manner that's safe to the consumer, safe for us all.
So for folks looking to find out more information about what you guys are up to, we are early in the process, both for Gene InfoSec and for it sounds like this entire new category. Where can they go to learn more about what you guys are up to?
Sure, follow us on Twitter at Gene InfoSec. We're on LinkedIn, website www.geneinfosec.com. And we're always happy to talk to people. Advice is, if you're considering a genetic test or a medical genetic test, always consult with your doctor. There are genetic counseling services out there, but weigh those benefits and those costs, because we're not in a place where we fully understand the threat surface. We're not in a place where we can cure every disease and have that personalized medicine quite yet.
And folks looking for Garrett, where can they find you?
At DNA Crypto Nerd on Twitter, or I'm on LinkedIn as well, but primarily hit up the company and we'll get back to you.
There we go. These are the active folks that are out there doing the work for you. I'm going to try to find more cool stuff like this, but I don't know if I can when we're talking about encrypting your own DNA. But we're going to try. So you can find us at threatvector.cylence.com, also at BlackBerry and at Silence Inc. I'm Matt Stevenson. Look for me at PacMat73. It's a beautiful day in San Francisco. I don't know if we're going to get anything cooler, but we're going to look for it.